Hello, everybody. Accureye here, and welcome back to another Accureye Talks video. And in today's Accureye Talks video, I thought it would be interesting, or at least a good idea, to talk about a problem, I guess you could say, that I've had with recent Apex Legends, Apex Legends, and one of these things that I've had issue-wise is, of course, the fact that there are some do's and don'ts that many players have not been following, at least in my opinion, at least since Season 1 released. And, as many of you may have or may have not known, Season 1 of Apex Legends just got its first Battle Pass, which, of course, means that it's open season. It's the beginning of the so-called quote-unquote, games. So, I mean, with that being said, there have been obviously some things that I've noticed that are kind of, if you will, to me, do's and don'ts. The first do's and don'ts that I would talk about, and I'll probably talk about some of the don'ts first, because the don'ts seem to be the ones that people don't really follow, and they don't really realize that it's going on like half the time. And one of the main don'ts that I will talk about is of course don't be greedy. I mean, you have 3 people on your team. Each one of these people have to get armor, have to get their loot, aka a weapon and maybe some armor. And let's face it, 9 out of 10 times, if you're greedy and you're kind of being that person who's like taking everything they can from the loot boxes that they open up, I mean, don't be that person. 9 out of 10 times, let's face it, you're probably not going to use 9 out of 10 of that loot anyway, and you're going to throw it away. So, to me, always have the conscience of saying, hey, if I'm not going to use it, then I'm not going to pick it up. I'm just going to leave it for somebody else to pick it up. I mean, that's the first instead of, that's the first, do I would do is leave items for your friends or your teammates to pick up. I mean, they have to pick up items. They have to get their own loot. They have to at least have something to keep them alive. Same goes with the don'ts of, death boxes. Like when you do fall inevitably, and let's face it, you will most likely fall at some point. Don't loot your teammates' death box, even if they had good items. 9 out of 10 times, you're probably going to revive them. They're going to want their loot back, and unless, of course, the ring is closing in on you, then there's no reason for you to ever consider even just looting your teammate's death box. I mean, let's face it, they're probably going to be 9 out of 10 times coming back looking for their loot, and if you took their loot, they're going to be salty, and they're going to have to restart from the get-go. I mean, sure, maybe you got better loot, but that doesn't matter at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you still have to they still have to kind of restart from the get-go. They still have to deal with your, you having taken their loot and, them restarting from the go again, It's something that does happen. I mean, let's face it, 9 out of 10 times your teammates will be looking to get their loot back, at least to some degree. Another do's and don'ts in that I've seen is do spread the wealth. Do spread your loot. If you have extra heavy ammo and you can spare a clip or two, spare a clip if someone asks for it. If you can spare a med pack or two, don't keep it all to yourself. Spread the wealth around. Keep your teammates alive. I mean, remember, Apex Legends is a team-based game. If it has solo mode at all, you could keep all the loot to yourself. I mean, let's face it, 9 out of 10 times you'd probably be throwing away most of it because at the end of the day, you're probably not going to be able to keep it all. I mean, it's fact of life that you won't be able to keep all your loot. I know there are some of you who are pack rats saying, oh, but Accureye, I have to have all this loot. If I don't have all this loot, I'm not going to win. And that's not true. Technically, if you are good at the game. And this is if you are good at the game. And let's face it, 9 out of 10 times, I know many of you just don't have the common sense, or probably don't have the idea of, well, I have teammates. I'm going to have to let my teammates take a few hits from me, or maybe take a takedown from me. I know many of us want to go for the 3 to 10 kills per game. I mean, let's face it. On average, if it's a good day for me, I will get about 3 to 5 kills a game. Now, that's an average if I'm having a good day, and if I get a team that pretty much is pretty much with me on my back, and pretty much has my back as much as I have their back. And that's the big thing, everybody, is like, make sure you have each other's back. You can't just expect to go into a game thinking that everybody is going to not have your back. Everybody's going to have your back. Everything's going to be all right. Everyone is going to keep you safe, keep you covered, keep you alive. It's not going to always happen. Sometimes you have to communicate, hey, stick together. And that's another thing about a do on Apex Legends. Is do have a way of communicating. AK, if you are going somewhere, ping where you're going. This way your teammates can go, oh, okay, you're going there, I'll follow you. And if you don't ping where you're going, especially on the jump, many of your teammates are going to go, where are you going? And if they don't agree with you, at least they have a say and go, okay, well, if you're going to land there, I know it's a death area. For instance, bunker. I've told you plenty of times on my streams, bunker is one of the worst areas to land. But at least if you ping that you're going to go to bunker and you're going to land there, at least your teammates will have an idea of going, okay, well, they're going to bunker. I don't want to go to bunker, but I'll land close enough to the point where no matter what happens, if they get into trouble, and if I find a weapon and some armor, I can at least make a go round to help save them. But for instance, you're like, oh, I'm not going to ping bunker. I'm just going to assume everyone knows we're going to bunker, and then I'm going to just drop down there. No. If you're going to drop down to bunker and someone knows you're dropping down to bunker, but they don't want to follow you there, and let's face it, if you follow someone to bunker or pit, you better hope that you can drop somewhere kind of outside that area, just so you can get your loot and stuff. It's just a matter of, everyone's not going to be happy about you. So, at the end of the day, make sure that you're dropping somewhere or anywhere that someone else can kind of go, okay, well, they're going there, let's just go here instead, because I don't want to go there, or I know that that's just a bad area to land in, So, do make sure that you ping where you're going, especially, and this is especially if you're at a point where you're kind of like thinking, oh, well, everyone knows where I'm going. Everyone doesn't have to, everyone knows where we have to go. I'm just going to drop there. No. If you drop somewhere that everyone knows you're going to drop to, especially like, for instance, as Dr. Disrespect has said before, and I know I've referenced Dr. Disrespect plenty of times on this channel, but as Dr. Disrespect has said at least once before, know your competition. Your competition is going to want to land on the, for instance, land on the dropship at first. Your competition is going to know that they want to go to bunker at first. Your competition is going to know that they want to go to pit at first. If you know where your competition is going, then don't go to where your competition is going. Give yourself a chance. Like here, perfect example of me having bounced out once I knew where we were going. Like they didn't mark they pinned that we were going to the airship, and I thought maybe we'd have a chance at the airship. But of course, as you probably saw there, I knew we wouldn't have much of a chance. I knew with the massive hitbox Gibraltar has, there's no way in heck I would have survived that first initial wave. So I jumped off immediately. And that's the thing, is play it smart, everybody. I mean, don't be afraid to play it smart, everybody. Your teammate may not like that you bounced ship wherever they were going initially. Your teammates may kind of go like, oh, this person was just coward. They weren't ready to win or something like that. Nah, it's not because they're a coward or they're not ready to win. It's because, you gotta play smart. this Battle Royale games, it's like, you gotta always be able to play smart. You gotta know exactly what your competition is doing, what your competition is thinking. Because again, the more you know about your competition, when you know your competition, you know what they're going to do, it makes it much easier for you to plan your attack, to plan your schedule, to plan what it is you want to do. So, while it may seem like someone is being a coward, they're not wanting to win, it's not because they don't want to win. It's because they're probably smart enough. They're probably smarter than you to think that, something could happen. And if something does happen, then they don't want any part of it. Let's face it. So, yeah. At the end of the day, you just gotta remember that, it's a matter of knowing what to do and what not to do. Another do is stick together. Don't be afraid to stick together. Sure, you may not get the kills that you want, but again, don't just go all out, scouting around or even just running around thinking that nothing's going to happen. I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to get into a point where I'm going to need help or whatever. Make sure that you are sticking together at least to some degree. It doesn't have to be perfectly aligned with sticking together or perfectly aligned with, doing all the, all the little things always being in the group, always being in a, whatever point of view. Sometimes, as I've said, it's just a matter of sticking together and, at least to a degree, working in a, what you say, I would say, a side-by-side group, a close at hand, for instance, if one of you have a sniper, use that sniper to keep your team, to keep the other team busy, while two people are moving around to get behind the person who is sniping or something like that. In general, have some common sense, have some common tactics, have something that can at least to a degree, and I say to a degree, at least can make it to where you are able to, currently, just keep things in a matter of control, because, again, you want to be under the control of the battlefield. In fact, in many ways, when you want to win, if you do want to win, it's not only knowing the competition, but it's also staying in control of the battlefield. Remember, many of us would love to get our so-called kill streak up to 10, up to 9, up to 20. But not all of us are Dr. Disrespect material. Not all of us can carry people like there's no tomorrow. You have to take practice. It takes practice and it takes time to get there. So, in general, remember that in the general rule of thumb is stick together, play your part. Play your part. And make sure that everyone in the group is on the game plan. For instance, tag where you're going. Mark things that you don't need. That way, if someone does need it, they can get it. Do what you can to make the game and make the run as enjoyable as possible. Because again, if you want to win, it's a matter of sharing the loot, spreading the wealth, and just not hogging everything. For instance, if someone needs shield cells and you've got extras, spread the wealth and give a shield cell. If you see a piece of armor and someone doesn't have it, make sure you mark it. That way they can grab it. Same goes with, same goes with ammo and all that other stuff. Make sure you're using your ultimates. Make sure you are using the stuff that makes your playthrough enjoyable. Again, it's all about sticking together and doing whatever you can to, of course, in general, just outlast the rest of the teams. Remember, there are in Apex Legends, there are 20 teams when you start off. That's 60 people. You have to go for all 60 people. I'm not saying 9 out of 10 times, most of us are not going to be a Dr. Disrespect who can knock down maybe 10, 20 people. None of us are going to have the team that can knock down 10 or 20 people, unless, of course, you're just like, a carry person. And this reminds me, now that we're getting to this part of footage, if someone dibs something, don't take it. Please leave it for your teammate who dibbed it. I mean, again, remember that the whole code of dibs is just like, if you dib it, then it means it's yours. You're taking that, don't just like be that person who goes, oh, I see something I want, I'm going to take it. And then if you hear the dibs, make sure you leave it for that person. You don't have to be greedy. Again, I've seen so many people who get greedy because they're like, oh, I see something I want, I'm going to get it. And it's like, if someone sees it before you, then at least make sure that you dibs it, or, make sure that you are faster than, that so-called person. But overall, I mean, these are just a few of my do's and don'ts when it comes to playing Apex Legends. One of the main things is make sure that you are utilizing your character's abilities to the best of their, to the best that you can. I mean, make sure that you are, of course, in general, just doing things that can help your teammates. I mean, again, not everyone is going to be that all-out carry material, and not everyone is going to be able to, do the things that many people can do. I mean, again, it takes a lot of time and a lot of practice. Sometimes it's just a matter of, knowing the situation and analyzing the situation at the end of the day. Because, again, like I said, analyzing your situation, analyzing the end of the day, points is essential to making your your playthrough as enjoyable as possible. I mean, like I've said, we can't all be a Dr. Disrespect. We can't all be a Shroud. It's a matter of, being able to do things and knowing what to do when the situation calls for it, And, I mean, that's the end of the day. But, like I said, thank you, everybody, for joining me today on this video. Thank you for being here. If you like this video, you know what to do. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit the bell notification, because I know you want to know when my next video drops next. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today on this video. Thank you for watching this video. And, thank you for being here. And, yeah. I am live on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/Accureye. I am live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday for sure. But I'm also live on, I've been lately also live on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and potentially Sunday. Sunday will always be a bonus stream, but Monday, Tuesday, and Tuesday will always be around 2 to 3 hours long. But with that being said, thank you, everybody, for joining me today on this video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for stopping by. And until the next one, everybody, this is Accureye signing out and saying farewell, everyone.